All right. Hey, I just want to, we're kicking off a brand new podcast for this week. And last week we had an issue with my internet. Well, I can finally say something's gone wrong in this podcast or could go wrong or not sound good, not because of me, because
Because
of
of
the
me.
perfect one. All right. The one in the lifestyles and the rich and famous flying all over the world, going all these different places, seeing all these sites. So we got a little audio issue. We'll try to fix it, but I do apologize in advance if you're listening today and you hear Kayla's wisdom kind of be interrupted by a couple crackles here and there.
At least
Let's
it's because I'm working hard with clients at the gym.
yes. So
Yes.
yep. All right. Well, and we've got some things going on in the gym where a lot of our coaches are going on vacation, so our schedules are kind of all mixed up, and we're covering for each other, which is why Kayla's in the gym, not in her beautiful office with a nice little microphone to help us. But if you're watching, you can see up, at least in my view, up in the top left-hand corner, Jennifer Wilson. She's our guest today. She is the owner of Cross Country Mortgage here in Morgantown. She has been in the mortgage industry, or at least some the financial industry, right, Jennifer, for quite a few years.
Yes. Right around
Yeah,
10 years.
yeah, about 10 years. So running your own business. So let's get right to it today. And I'm gonna kind of open it up with this little barrage that I used to and still do when I talk to some audiences about people putting things off. So I could be talking to a group of people. And let's just say I'm talking to a bunch of college kids and say, you know what? Hey, I am going to be the person I want to be. I'm going to do the things I need to do. I'm going to do that as soon as I can graduate college. As soon as I graduate college, because I've been so busy in college with classes and everything else going on, I just haven't been able to make good decisions for myself to do things I know I need to do. So, you know what? When I get that first job, I'll have money, I'll have resources, I'll have all the things that I need to be able to do the things that I need to do in life to be the person I want to be. But man, just got married and I've got kids and the kids have been taking all my time and I just haven't had the time to do the things I need to do, want to do. I just can't do it. You know what? Maybe when the kids graduate high school, when they graduate high school, I'll be doing it. But then I was after a promotion. I've been going after this promotion and that's been taking up my time. I just haven't been able to do, maybe when I retire, when I finally retire, I can do the things I want to do, be that person I want to be when I retire. Maybe when I'm dead, I'll have all the time in the world to be that person, to do the things I know I need to do for myself. And I guess today we brought Jennifer in because if there's a person out there that lacks time or doesn't lack time, finds a way to use the time that she has to get done what she needs to get done, she is a perfect model of this. So, why did we come up with this topic today? Kayla, why did we come up with this topic today? What do you hear in the gym sometimes?
Well, I feel like as of recently, it's been a topic in consults or messages to clients of I just don't have time. I don't have time with the kids' schedules. I don't have time with my work schedule. And I often hear comparisons too of like, well, if I had this person's life, it would be easier for me. Or if I had this schedule, it would be easier for me. And I just felt like Jennifer is a good example of she has a life of owning a business, working full time, a crazy kid schedule with athletics, like a home life, and she gets her fitness and health. And not just she's a good example of even if when things don't go exactly right, she still m- prioritizes her health and fitness in a different way.
Yeah, I like it. I love this. So Jennifer, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us, about yourself and your family. What's going on?
I own Cross Country Mortgage. That is my business. It's a mortgage company here in Morgantown, West Virginia. And aside from that, I also have a 13-year-old daughter who plays basketball. She plays at the middle school, which I help coach the middle school basketball team. And she also plays basketball in Pittsburgh for the Bruins. So we're up in Pittsburgh. Well, we were for about 5 months, 2 nights a week for practice. So we run a really busy schedule. And on top of that, my fiance, he is a baseball umpire for college baseball. So from February to June, he's basically checked out and gone. And so, we make it work and we figure it out. But we have a lot going on in our house. So, but it's fun. It's all fun.
Yeah. So in context, to give a little context, when you say, in Pittsburgh, well, we're in Morgantown, West Virginia, for those who may be outside of our area that's listening. And that's what, about an hour and a half kind of drive, depending
Yep.
on traffic, 2
Mhm.
nights a week
2 nights a
after
week.
working full time all day. And, yeah, so you've got a lot going on.
Yes. Have a
You've
lot
got a
going
lot going on. What did life look like before you started focusing on your health?
on. I've I've always prioritized my health, right? I've always thought that being healthy was important. But um making it top priority was probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I would say. And before that, it was more of I'll get to the gym when I can, if I can, and there may be weeks or months without going. Um, there may be things that got in the way of going to the gym. Didn't really care about what I was putting in my mouth as far as eating. So it was just definitely a different lifestyle. It was a lot of on the go and making excuses. Well, I'm busy, right? So I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to eat healthy, so we'll just get something on the way home. My weight probably was at the highest it had been in, I don't know, since I was pregnant. And I was feeling very run down and sluggish.
So, okay, so we didn't discuss any of this before this conversation. So I may be tiptoeing into an area that I don't know, but I don't think so. I really don't. So you got started, right? And you jump, Kayla, what would you say your start was like? Pretty good, right? She got off to a really good start.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
start.
But then you were dealt with something you had to deal with, right?
Yeah.
A health issue?
Yeah. So about 3 years ago now, I got diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And I was probably, I had just started really dialing in my fitness and nutrition that year. I feel like I was the healthiest I had been in a long time. And then got diagnosed with cancer and had to have some surgeries and some treatments and those kind of things. So, kind of set me back just a little bit. But now I'm on thyroid medication, which definitely helps regulate all of my systems. And as long as it's in tune, I'm feeling good.
So Kayla, you're her coach, right? And I've worked the floor and I help Jen on the floor when she comes in. But thinking back, all right, and you would know better than I, just during her treatment, didn't I recall her still in the gym, didn't you?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked that question because, uh, honestly, I forgot all about it because there was really no lapse of training, I feel like.
Right.
I mean, we had to change some stuff and, but, that's one of the examples is I don't know, like, with her, it's like there's never skipping a beat. Major things happen, major highs, major lows, and she's just, like, even keel, I feel like, and, I think not that I want other clients to take on that personality, but I think that that's a very good attribute to have when it comes to health and fitness is just having that level playing field of there's no it's just a daily routine, right? It's like there's not major PRs in the gym, but then also something as you know traumatic as cancer also doesn't set her back that far. So um, yeah, for me, I am kind of embarrassed to say I forgot about that, but that's like a sign of Jennifer and how I would say how committed and like how strong she is. Because I mean, we have all kinds of clients, and it's every week is like, oh, I'm sick. Oh, my finger set me out for 3 weeks. Oh my, it's like, but she had something as major as that, and there's no bump in the road.
No, there wasn't. I mean, there wasn't at all. I mean, and even effort-wise, when Jen, when you came into the gym, there was no slack on. I mean, you just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And let me ask you something. I believe. that this time too, you had that travel team, Sophie was, playing. I mean, all that stuff continued to go on. It wasn't it I mean, again, timing wise, weren't you either just launched, right? Or were just in the infant stages of launching your business at the same time?
So basically, what I'll kind of give you the rundown of the way that that went down. So I had the thought was there to launch this business. And then the mortgage market just crashed. If anybody remembers that, if anybody's in, remembers that year. So at the same time the mortgage market crashed, I got diagnosed with cancer and had to have the surgery, which basically I was out. I wasn't allowed to work for 6 weeks. I had because I wasn't allowed to drive. And they damaged my vocal cords a little bit while I was having surgery. So I was like, well, listen, there's no better time to launch a new business than when my business really hasn't got a lot going. I mean, I was still producing, but mortgage markets crashed. It's not really the greatest mortgage year ever. I really haven't done a lot of business because I've had these surgeries and I'm dealing with this treatment. So might as well just start fresh with something new. And so that's kind of where that was right after that time is when we launched our business.
Yeah. And then, again, and everything, so if there's someone out there, right, Kayla, and I again, the sound quality, it's going in and out. We'll get through this thing and, everything. But yeah, the things that we hear, right, that get in the way from helping people make a choice to get into the gym, to start caring for themselves. Jen, was there, of course, you made this commitment to your health prior to the diagnosis.
Mhm.
Was there anything that changed in your mindset? I mean, that prompted you to say, you know what, I really need to start focusing on this.
Yeah, so I kind of have always um I always wanted to feel better and look better. Once you have, I'll put it out there, everybody, once you have a child, your body does change. And so but it was always this vicious cycle of like, I'm going to start this on Monday. I'm going to try this again on Monday. I'll get back to the gym on Monday. I'll start my diet on Monday. Everything's going to look better on Monday. And then Monday rolls around and like life just gets busy. And hey, guess what? There's always next Monday, right? So that was kind of the cycle that I was in. And I think I just got tired of being in that cycle and I always am listening to anybody knows me knows that I'm always listening and reading and trying to better myself mentally. And I am really diligent about taking care of every aspect of my life. At that time, I was very dialed in with like tracking at work, tracking at home, like track everything, I budget all the things. But the gym was just one area where I was just kind of like winging everything. Um, and so I was listening to a podcast and there was I think it was John Asif who said, you're either, are you interested in something or are you committed to it? And the difference is, if you're interested in something, then you'll allow every excuse in America to come up, right? Like, I don't know, I don't have anything healthy to eat at home. My kids want to eat different than me. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to walk my steps. I don't have time to do this. I'm busy, I work full time. Like there's a million excuses, right? But if you're committed, there is no excuse. You get it done no matter what. And so I really took that to heart and was like, okay, it's time to be committed because I'm tired of the cycle of starting again every Monday because that's just interested, right? Like I'm just interested in being healthy. I'm not super committed. So that was, I think, probably my turning point. It was just a mental shift for me.
Okay, so you make that mental shift, and I get it. I totally get that, but you can make that mental shift and still revert back to old habits. Were there some new habits? Were there some strategy that you had, or that helped you stay committed?
Yeah. So I remember I started actually going to OPEX, which was like probably the biggest game changer for me. Because prior to that, I was just kind of winging it in the gym, trying to figure out my own stuff. But when I started working out, Kayla's my trainer, and it's just a plan. It's structure. I love a plan. I love structure. You walk in the gym, you know what's gonna, what's gonna be on your chart, what you gotta do for the day. You can log it, you can see your progress from week to week of like, okay, this week I lifted this much, next week I want to lift this much. Um, then there's another side to that. There's the accountability side of that like if you don't go, you know, she'll let you know it's Tuesday and you're at 0% compliance. Like, and so just having that, but then once I got there, it became more of like a family, right? So the group that I go with, I work out at 5:45 in the evening just because it works with my schedule. It's like 4:30 or 5:45, one of those.
Yeah, it's whenever
And
you
the
wanna come
group
in, that's
that's
fine.
there when I'm there, it's just they've become like family and friends. Like if you're not there, you feel like you're missing out on something. So we all work out together, tons of fun. And then the nutrition side of it, once you start really working out and you see changes, then you kind of are like, oh, well, this is looking good. Like now I want to kind of like get my nutrition in line. And then it's, well, how can I get my 10,000 steps in a day and, kind of make that a game. So just kind of all ripples. I think it all started with the commitment to going to the gym.
So commitment is there, but you still gotta make good choices, and I gotta imagine running your own business, having a teenage daughter, having a fiancé that, uh, he's kind of free-spirited too, always doing things he wants to do. Um, things have to crop up. I mean, some scheduled or unanticipated interruptions have to be a part of your day.
Yeah, every day.
How do you fit your workouts in with those kind of dynamics that you're working through? Is how do you do that?
So I think for me, like if I leave it to chance, it's not getting done, right? So it's on so Sunday night, every Sunday night, I sit down, I do this for my business planning. So I look at my calendar for the business for my business and I'm making my calendar of everything I need to do. And I always put priorities on my calendar. So my number one priority in this world is my daughter. So all the things that she has to do go first on the calendar. My business is run in such a way that I can kind of work everything else around that. Then I look at little blocks of time that maybe I can't go 5 days a week. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been to the gym in 5 days. That's not my goal. My goal is to go 3 to 4. So every week I look at what are 3 or 4 days I can commit this week to going to the gym and what times. Like last week, it was a 7:30 in the morning because that time fit better than 5:45 at night. Um, or, like just making it a priority to get there, making it a priority so that once it's on the calendar, you go in, you check in. Now it's something that I'm just doing. Like it's been part of my schedule for the day. I pack my bag before I leave. Now, granted, yesterday I pulled right into the gym. Things come up. Get in the back to get my bag out of my gym bag out. I didn't have it. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me." I text Kayla, I'm like, "I don't have my gym bag." But you know what? On the way home, I was like, "I'm not skipping the gym." So I ran by Dick's real quick, bought some clearance items, went to a different gym, got a workout in. Because that was just I knew if I went home first, I wouldn't do it because once you get home, right, there's dinner, there's this, there's that. So I was like, "I'm just gonna stop by Dick's, grab a couple things, whatever, run to the gym, get it in." Things do come up. But if you plan for those, if you plan for like, okay, I've planned for 4 days this week. My goal is to get in 3, but I'm planning for 4. If I don't get all 4 in because something comes up, I stayed late at work. So if had something come up, I need to be somewhere. I still got 3 days. And no matter what, even if I don't get the gym days in, to say I only get 3 in, I always get my steps in. That's like I get home and I walk. I have a walking pad right here under my desk. I have one at home. I have them everywhere. So I could just plop one down and start walking.
Kayla, did you clone her? I mean, for crying out loud, I mean, if I'm listening to her and I feel like I'm listening to you every day of the week, right? What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on all that?
Well, I just feel like that's the difference is most people and a lot of clients like last night, they forgot their gym clothes. They're going home, but she didn't go home, right? I knew she wasn't going to. I knew that she was going to do something else, whether it is just walking. Like even if a client says I didn't make it to the gym, I'm just going to go out for a longer walk tonight because I have time. Like I just feel like a lot of people miss that. It's like something happens, I'm just gonna scratch it. Whereas I feel like she doesn't ever scratch it. Also, I feel like she gets creative with how to do things. So, one of the biggest things with clients is they say, "Well, my kid had a basketball game, and so I was stuck at the basketball game." Well, I've seen Jennifer post several times that she's at Soph's basketball game or practice or something with Sophie. Maybe not the game. She's probably yelling in the stands at the game. But at practice, she'll walk while she's practicing, right? So it's like, yeah, you can be there for your kid. She just said that's the most important, but fitness is also important. So she gets her steps in while she's at her kids' practice. Whereas same thing, a lot of people miss that part. You guys
Yeah,
are looking at, can you
it's
hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is it
we
okay?
can yeah, we can hear you. We can hear
And
you.
2,
We've
I
I
would
already
think to
also
that point, Kayla,
okay.
you hear that a lot is like, well, I don't have time because my kids have practice. Typically practice is like an hour and a half. So when I would drive Soph up to Pittsburgh, I mean, it's a 2-hour practice. So there's a Planet Fitness right down the road. So instead of sitting there talking or hanging out or whatever, I'd run over to Planet Fitness and, it wasn't the I'd get the workout in, or if it's nice outside, I'd go walk. So either way, it was getting done. It just wasn't getting done the way that like, my usual gym, my usual place, but I always try to get it done.
yeah, you are Jennifer, I mean, ever since I've met you, known you, I mean, you are a go-getter and you're relentless. And sometimes when people have that mentality, that relentless mentality, they can fall into, and Kayla and I have talked about this on other podcasts, they can easily fall into that all or nothing mindset, right? So if I'm either doing it perfectly or I'm not doing it at all. And how do you avoid that yourself?
Um, so I feel like I used to probably be an all or nothing person, and that led to just a whole lot of disappointment because um instead of doing something, you're doing nothing, which is like I just feel like you can always do something. So I've tried to like change my mindset to again, I'd love to go to the gym 5 days a week. To me, that just isn't right now, like in the season of life I'm in, that isn't always what's able to be done for my family, for my time frame. But 3 days a week is something, right? So all or something versus all or nothing. Or the walk, or maybe it is just going to a hotel gym because Soph's gonna have 3 games today and we're at the hotel and we're in wherever, who knows what destination we're in, and it's a gym this big, but been in there before with other moms who are 6 a.m. We get up, we go do our walk. The weights may not be the best, but we're just doing something because it's what I committed to myself to do. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is it's a commitment I made to myself. And I just want to honor the commitments that I make to myself. And I want to be around long enough that like if my girls, so when I'm helping coach middle school basketball and they need a sub and I can go out and play with them. I can go run up and down a basketball court still. I can go on a whim if somebody wants to go for a run. I mean, I'm not going to go do a triathlon or anything like that.
You
But
might.
if somebody wants to go for a run
But
or
you
a walk,
can.
yeah, I can. Or bike riding, like I'm able and capable of doing all those things that I don't have to say no. Like if my daughter and I, we like to go to Disney. And when we go to Disney, we go for, I mean, it's park open to park closed all day. At 44, I'm still able to go and be high energy because I take care of myself. And that's the important part of it.
And
Like that. I like
I wanna add something to this too, because I feel like, um, that's the biggest one of the biggest differences with Jennifer and with some other clients is you hear her say, Sophie and I," and she includes Sophie in her activities, right? It's not separate. So it's not like I have to choose my kids or my fitness. She blends the 2 together. And it happens in the gym. Sophie comes into the gym. She said, her and Sophie play basketball. Her and Sophie go for a bike ride. So whereas I think I mean, that would change the whole world if more parents started incorporating their kids into their lifestyle of fitness. We'd have a healthier, happier world as a whole because that generation is the next generation that's coming up. And if they already have those habits instilled in them and it's part of their life, and it's part of the norm, that's easier for the next generation, right? So, um, I think that if I could get all of my clients to adopt that mindset of that their kids are part of their healthy lifestyle, everybody would be better off.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. But sometimes okay, this is gonna be fun for me. This is gonna be really fun for me right now because sometimes I'm in the gym and I don't know, Kayla, that you get all of the feedback regarding your workouts when you coach the floor, as opposed to when I coach the floor. So so I wanna talk a little bit about being in a comfort zone. Now, Jen, you've demonstrated, I don't there's a phrase out there, I was amazed at how uncomfortable the comfortable zone was once I got out of my comfortable zone, right? But you don't always have the kindest things to say about your program because of the difficulty and the discomfort that eh, um, endure during a workout. How do you get through those times? I mean, other than bitching with all of the other clients that are Kayla's, and then you all sit around and talk about how hard your workout is.
So I feel like I'm fortunate that most of Kayla's clients, I think we all work out at the same time. So we all have a nice little session before, during, and after. Uh, but I will say that I am a competitive person, right? Just by nature, it's just kind of who I am. It's in my blood to be competitive. And so yes, although I do complain about the workout and sometimes I'm not very happy and sometimes I'm not.
Complain's a strong word. It's not a complaint at all.
Sometimes I like to give Kayla a little bit, a little bit just about the workout. But at the same time, I do enjoy pushing myself because here's the thing: if you can physically push yourself in the gym, right? Then, so I work in sales, right? And if I can literally say one more rep, one more rep, one more rep, one more rep, well, then when it comes down to one more phone call, one more this, one more meeting, one more, like, it makes everything else so much easier because if I was able to literally be on a bike and like my legs feel like they're going to just explode and I have to go harder and push a little bit farther and I'm able to push through that mentally, then every time I'm doing anything that's difficult, it gives you that mental, they call it like a mental callus, where you're able to push through those things and just do one more rep, one more rep, one more phone call, one more sales meeting, one more whatever you have to do. So it goes into other areas of your life if you really let it.
Yeah, so I think what you described there too, and Kayla's talked about this in the past too, is that sometimes when we view exercise or we view working out, it's something I do. Something I do. What I'm hearing from you is it's not just something you do, it's who you are. And how you do one thing, you do everything. And it blends, it all blends together. So you got a successful business, you've got a successful strategy with some and also too, I mean, think about this. You rely on Kayla as your coach in the gym. If I'm not mistaken, you've also got business coaches. So you like to reach out and and I guess, gather knowledge through others and then have that accountability partner as well. Would that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a coach in every area of my life, literally every area. So fitness, business, mental, like I have a coach for each separate area of life. I think that when you stop having somebody else give you knowledge and advice, like I'm only as smart as, I mean, it's what I know, right? But there are people out there who know so much more about me, who can push me a little bit farther, who can see the potential in me, who can help me get to my best potential, my fullest potential. And I, left to my own devices, I probably will not push myself as hard as I need to, right? Like, let's be honest. But if I have somebody beside me pushing me or behind me pushing me or, helping me get there, holding me accountable, it's a whole other thing. And it helps me get to where I want to be. It's just like my daughter, we've just talked about her. I mean, how can I literally go into the gym and say, you have to go as hard as you have to go. You have to lift as much as you want to lift. You have to do this basketball workout. You have to do this. If I'm not willing to go in and do the same thing, if I'm not willing to be the example that she needs, like, oh, well, I see mom over there doing it. Like, I got to go, like that's the beauty of taking your kid in with you is like, hey, guess what? I know you have to jump on this bike, but I'm getting on right beside you and we're going to go as hard as we can. Or I'm going to cheer you on. And there have been times where I've been dying on a bike and she's been cheering me on. Like it is fun to do together.
Yeah, but she watched you, she observed that you didn't quit,
Yeah.
right? That you pushed through it, and you're just I think you're a phenomenal example,
Thank you.
and that's oftentimes we'll do it outside, I mean, away from our kids, but the 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 importance and the impact that you make when they can actually see it is twofold. It's just much more effective with people. So let's kind of wrap up today, if we could. I know Kayla's, well, I've got a session I've got to get over there too. I've got my grandkids here. I'm just
Aw,
kind of swooping in. They're upstairs right now. Pretty cool. I hear them thumping around and everything, but I'll get a little time with them, and then I got to go into OPEX myself. So, what, I guess, what advice as we wrap up, Kayla, Jennifer, to help with consistency, to help with mindset, to help with strategy, habits, however you could help our audience. How about just one thing to get started? Just one thing, right? Get that ball, get that momentum going. What's one thing you would say that would help someone that's struggling with those comments that Kayla mentioned in the beginning? You mentioned them. My kids are pulling me this way. My job's got this much, influence on me. I like Love Island, and I really want to watch Love Island tonight. That's what I'm hearing that more. I hate that freaking show. I don't know.
I've never seen it. I don't even know what it is.
You don't even know what it is? Okay.
Me either.
Well, ask some clients in the gym. They'll tell you what it is. Anyhow, to overcome these excuses that many of us have, what was one thing you would, let's start with Kale, we'll finish with you, Jen, if that's okay.
So I think, a lot of people listening to this might have that thought of like, something about Jennifer they don't have. So Jennifer has a quality that maybe they don't have, or they can't make it work, or their life is different. So I would say the advice that I would have is think about your life and set expectations that fit into your lifestyle, just as Jennifer did. She would prefer to work out 5 days a week, but that's not realistic. So she works out three or four. And I would say that's the biggest thing for people is don't try to be Jennifer, don't try to be me, don't try to be Kevin. Figure out where it is in your life that you can fit it in and start there.
Love it. Love it. Jen?
I think for me, the biggest thing that I could tell people is to preparation is the key to everything, right? So if you are prepared and you have if you're trying to wing it, don't do it. If you wait till the day of, to try to figure out when to find time to go to the gym, when to find time to walk, when to find time to meal prep, it doesn't work that way. If you're prepared for your week, you're prepared for your day. Look at your calendar on Sunday, see what little blocks. Like I have an hour block here, I have an hour block there. If you like to watch Love Island, whatever that is, go find a treadmill or a walking pad and walk while you do it. Like it's something as simple as that that like could change a lot. And then, just I meal prep on Sunday because I don't have time I leave my house at 6:15 in the morning. Sometimes I don't go home till 10:15 at night. I don't have time to meal prep during the week but if I'm not prepared, I will be left at whatever is available to eat. So everything has to be done when I have time, which is Sunday. The Sunday, just look at your week, look at your calendar and see when do I have an hour that I could carve out and go to the gym for me. So that if you have a family and your excuse is, well, I don't have time because I have kids, your kids need you to be healthy and your kids need you to have that mental capacity. You can't fill from an empty cup. Give yourself 1 hour a day, just 1 hour. It will change everything.
Yeah, I love it. I guess I'm gonna combine a little bit of both. I mean, Kaylee, you kind of talked about, people will have the tendency to point fingers, not point fingers, but they'll compare. They'll look at their life and they'll look at the situation that they're currently in, and they'll look at someone else's life that maybe is achieving the things that they'd like to, and they compare themselves. And comparison, right, is the thief of joy. And you don't tend to look at all of the things that you have, the abilities that you have, if all we're doing is looking at someone else, comparing ourselves to them. And I just think there's times there's times we've talked about this in the gym. We've even said this on this podcast before. Every single one of us, the most fit, the least fit, the richest, the poorest. We all have 168 hours in a week. We all have 24 hours in a day. And I think if you take Jen's advice and kind of plan for the success that you want to have. Kayla, you've talked about this word before, that, well, non-negotiables. There are certain things that are non-negotiables in your life that you are going to make sure that that happens no matter what, no matter if a client needs you, no matter if your daughter needs you, right? At this time, this moment, I said I was doing this, and I'm going to do it. It doesn't mean you won't go be there to be with your daughter. It doesn't mean you won't go to be with your client. It just means right now, this is what I'm doing, and making that commitment. Good conversation. Good conversation. I really appreciate you taking the time, Jen, out of your. How did you do that? How did you find time to be on this podcast?
Yeah, put it on my calendar.
Put it on your calendar, right? And you knew that if you didn't, Kayla also programmed you. So,
Yeah,
right,
that's true too.
yeah. All right. Great conversation today. Um, I'm going to
Sorry
edit
about
this
the
part.
sound quality.
Yeah, sorry about the quality, the sound quality. Hopefully, I'll be able to edit this out. Jen, hang on. I'm going to say goodbye to our audience for here in a second, but just hang on and we'll just kind of do a debrief before we go. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Kayla.
Yeah.